ended up carrying, my pregnancy, and it was just so beautiful and so divine. And I was really skinny back then. So it was like these little skinny legs and then this belly. And I had my, and I remember saying to my inner self, and I would always pray from within, and I would say, God, please, please, I'm grateful for whatever gender you place in my womb. I said, however, if I should have a preference, I'd really prefer a boy. I grew up in a house full of women, and I just said, I know that I am, I'm just praying for a boy. And I would have these episodes where I would fall out during my pregnancy. I would just faint. And they couldn't figure out why. And so I was a manager, a bank manager at this time, and I was with a client. And I remember just before I fainted, but I couldn't stop myself. And all I remember is coming back I was walking back to the desk from the printer, and then that's all I remember. And I remember coming to, and this Asian lady had me cradled in her arms. She was on the floor, and she was doing Namyo Renge Kyo Namyo, and I was just like, okay, what is happening? And so they were like, you passed out, stay there, don't move. The ambulance is coming. And so I went to the hospital, and so the nurse said to me, I think she was the sonographer actually, and she said, do you want to know what you're having? And I said, well, if it's a boy, I want to know. Duh, obviously, I would know either way. So she was like, okay, here you go. And so she gives me the print time. She said, it's a boy. And I was like, yay, it's a boy, And I was so excited. And so I shared it with the father of my child, and but things were just going really bad, and I had a decision to make. And so I gave birth to our son, and things weren't getting any better. But I went into myself again, and I went into my secret place, and I said, what are you going to do, Mahogany? You don't want to be you don't want to be a statistic, excuse me, and you don't want to bear raising a child on your own. So you're either going to endure this dysfunction and this relationship until your son is an adult, or you're going to make the decision to separate yourself from the father of your child, and you will try to co-parent. And so I weighed the options, because I said, okay, if you choose option number one, which is to stay in this dysfunctional relationship, your son is going to be able to tell that this relationship is broken, and your son may have to witness some things that you don't want him to witness, and you don't want that. And so that con, as I was weighing the pros and the cons, it sealed the deal. And I said, I have to end this relationship. And I was a single mom, and devastated, absolutely devastated. I could not believe this was my life. This was not the life that I had set out for myself, and that I had envisioned, and I honestly didn't think that I would be able to endure it. How could I rear up a child on my own? And so I was still having hope that we could come to some sort of resolve, but it just never happened. And so that it took me, I did not enter into a relationship for, wow, probably 6 or 7 years. I just, being that person who held themselves for so long and then had a child, shortly after, just prior, to that, giving myself away and then having a child for a man, which I saw both as so sacred, I felt extremely let down and so hurt. And I was different from that day forward. I wasn't the same. And so I had to heal myself. And so I took those years to heal myself. I did not enter into any relationship at all. Nothing. Like I was totally like celibate. Because I had to heal, you guys. And so as the years went on, I'm maturing. And I'm maturing in, being a mother and also as a woman. And my expectations, of what a man is supposed to be have changed. And so I just really never, till this day, met a man that was a man, really. I'm not looking for perfection, but I am awaiting a king who knows who he is. And so a king who knows who he is doesn't have to be told what to do and how to operate as a king. So that's what I'm awaiting. And I haven't yet to come across such a man thus far. And I am a kind of easygoing, woman. Like I'm just living out this experience with the it's more than hope. I know that my husbands and I path, like they will cross here very soon. That's something I know. I don't believe it, I know it. So I'm just going about my journey, until that time comes. I have just dedicated my life, and I would say a lot of those years, even after I healed and that I was opening, or entertaining the possibility of becoming a mother again. Of becoming a wife again. I was still guarded, very guarded, and I think I spoke about this in another video where I was just very guarded, and I was putting out that energy of just being very just untrusting and guarded and leery of men for some time. And I honestly, I didn't know it until it was brought to my attention, from other male friends. And so I started to open up myself, and I've met some great guys, but none of them really captured my attention. I like to have intellectually stimulating conversations. I want, I'm awaiting a king who can, of course, it's okay to admire the exterior beauty, but who can look past that beauty and also look at the beauty within. And who knows who he is, who knows his role, and us, operating in our respective roles in beautiful balance. And so I have always also been very careful about, not bringing men around my child. My child has never known any other man other than his father. I just didn't play that, yeah, and not unless we were out and about and, happened to see someone that I knew, but having men in our home, that's the safe place. Absolutely not. The man, I always said, the man that my son sees in this home will be husband. I will be a father to him. So that's why I'm still single, you guys. I'm just, I know that I'm, a lot of people say that I'm very, just a different kind of soul, a very unique soul. And I'm a woman who knows exactly what she is awaiting. And I have the patience and wisdom to continue to wait until my path crosses with my husband. So that is why I'm still single. It is because I have yet to come across the path of my husband. And so I am just still patiently awaiting that beautiful sacred union. And so I appreciate so much, all of the people who have spoken into the atmosphere and say, your husband's there, your husband's on the continent. Watch, you're gonna, like, all the men are gonna be coming after you, and it's very endearing, and I appreciate it so much. And so I'm just going to continue on the journey and see what gifts and beautiful experiences that we have in store. So that is why I am single. It is, and I won't say it's by choice, because again, I am awaiting, that sacred union. There have been, there have been proposals in my past, but I knew that they didn't fit, like that those men who did propose, that they really weren't meant to be my husband. So I humbly declined, and wished them all well. So yes, just really awaiting my husband, like my husband, not someone else's, but the husband that's for me. So okay, so that's my story for today, you guys. I didn't expect it to be that long, but I did want to give you guys a back story so that you can kind of understand me, and why I am who I am today. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.